はいどうも、拝見するチャンネルの高木でございます。シャーロックホームズ罪と罰、いよいよ5作品目ですね。やっていきたいと思います。前回のアビー屋敷のね、話は全然うまくいったんでね、次のキュー植物園の一件、これはもうぜひともね、今回も綺麗に終わらせていきたいと思います。はい、前回ね、逆に言うとね、綺麗に終わらせすぎて、実際にちょっと動画の録画をね、ちらっと見たんですけど、全然喋ってないですね、私ね、びっくりしました。編集でどうにかできるんだったらどうにかしたいと思うんですけども、多分無理です。
Holmes, for heaven's sake, whatever's going on?
Oh, hello, Watson. You're early. Did you kill all of your patients?
すごいブラックジョーク。
Holmes, where have all these wretched bees come from?
どうした
I
はいじゃねえ
increased
の
the temperature of the room so as to prevent them from hibernating. I needed to take a sample of
何
honey.
してんのこの人。
But it worked, Watson. We will have honey all year round.
Ridiculous and dangerous.
They're domestic bees. Apis mellifera. Such industrious
なんか
workers.
ほんとさ、変人だよね。ビッグバンセオリーのシェルドン並みの変人さな気がするけど。
I'm in rather a hurry.
You have a new case?
Yes, but nothing as thrilling as this experiment. A theft of plants.
植物の盗
Royal
難があった
Botanic
んだ。あ、
Gardens in
今回は
Kew.
殺人事件じゃ
I'm
なくて
helping
盗
a
難事
minister
件ね。
who's an old friend of mine. You can join me if you like.
Well, I'll admit that I'd far rather accompany you than remain alone here with these workers of yours. Besides,
そうだね。
you'll need a helping hand with the flowers you're intending to bring back.
Watson, however did you guess?
For the
Moss.
great Sherlock Holmes to bother with the theft
そうだ
of
ね。
plants.
まあそれを
Come
理由に
on,
ね。
admit that you're planning to spoil your little bees with some rare pollens.
Since when did I become so transparent? Let us go.
透明じゃないでしょ。透明になっちゃったら見えないって。ワトソン君が見えなくなっちゃうでしょ。なるほどね。まあそういう意図もあって。まあでも事件簿のね、話になるんだったら、なかなか、あれなんじゃないの？面白い事件に発展していくんじゃないの？それこそ俺にとってはめちゃめちゃ難しい事件になるかもしれない。前回はね、結構ね、まあちょっとね、危なかったけどね、危なく奥さん罪になすりつけるところだったけどね。いや、あれ、おお、なんか推理したって感じがした。めちゃめちゃ良かった。どうした和田さんどうした？見たいのに見せてくれないみたいな感じになってるやん。あ、なんかちょっと拳握っちゃったよ。
Well, Holmes,
なんか
here we
色
are
合いとか
at
ほぼ
Royal
一緒だよ
Botanic
ね。
Gardens. There's no doubt that this place is beautiful. But are you really intent on investigating the theft of the
一応真剣には取り組むんじゃない
Yes, of course.
まあなんか見返りが欲しいんだったらそうじゃないの。つかまあ操作に関してはあんま適当にやってるイメージないけどね。まあ、なんかつまんねえなと思いながらやってるんやろうけど。
Don't touch anything else, is that clear? Just go and get a bucket of fertilizer. And without
めっちゃ
turning it
怒
over
って
this
る。
time.
おお怖い。
Good day to you, gentlemen. How may I help you? If you are here for a visit, please do come back on Sunday.
I am afraid that it cannot wait. My name is Sherlock Holmes, and this is my friend and colleague, Dr. Watson. We are investigating the theft of plants that took place here 5 days ago. A remarkable collection, I believe.
So you're the one in charge, eh?
A small favor for a friend. Now, to whom do I have the pleasure of speaking?
I am Martin Hamish. I am the deputy director of Kew Gardens. And that fellow yonder is Albert. He
アル
works
バート
here.
さんね。
I am delighted to meet you. What can you tell us about the plants?
They were rare and exceptional plants. We presented them at our last exhibition. We haven't removed the stand yet. It is still in the large glass house. We only learned of their disappearance the evening after the exhibition, and nobody saw anything.
No doors were forced?
ああ、
No,
確かに。
but I would imagine that for a thief it would be fairly easy to gain entry, for there are no
マジか。
guards here.
Well, if you don't
Mr.
mind,
Steve,
we will
ね。
take a look. Now, you say that it is in the large glass house.
見て回り
the
ましょう
one
はち
just
ょっとちゃう
behind
気が
me.
するけど、まあいいや。
Just a second, since Albert has nothing else to do. Albert, show these gentlemen where the exhibition was held.
How many people work here?
Only myself. But occasionally 2 students, Albert, whom you have met, and Miss White.
その2人だけ？あ、また随分と登場人物が少なくて楽。もうなんかそれこそ前の線路のやつとかなんかもう登場人物が多すぎて困ったよね。
Here it is. This is the place where the stolen plants were exhibited.
なんでちょっとなんか泣いてる？
Thank you. Is there something the matter?
Yes, there is. All right, the plants were valuable and rare, but
あ、
it
泣い
seems
てん
to
の
me
か
that the tragedy that took place here only 2 days ago has been entirely forgotten already.
What tragedy are you referring to?
おう、どれ？
The director of Kew Gardens, Mr. Montague,
えー
he died here just 2 days ago.
We're very sorry. We were not aware. The two of you were good friends?
He was my father.
マジか。
Oh dear. Our condolences. We should not be troubling you. Please do excuse us for the intrusion.
You say that he died here, in the large glass house.
Holmes?
Yes, just here, near the door to the colonial collection. He suffered a heart attack. Just like that. So suddenly.
あれ？
It was terrible. Excuse me, gentlemen, but I cannot remain here. If you need me, I'll be in the reserve. That's
そ
the
れ
room
を
next to
さ、
the
あ
front
の
of the
副
large
園長は
greenhouse.
知っててここに向かわしたのか
Of
な。
course, we
それだとしたらあの副園長だいぶ底意地悪いよね。
What should we do next, Holmes?
ちょっと待ちや。死んだところってここだよね多分。
According to Albert, this is where his father, Montague Dunn, was found dead.
あった、なんか見っけ。
Soil. It should have come from a flower pot. The soil on the side of this flower shelf is the same as that on the ground.
そうだね。
Fragments of a flower pot. It
So
fell
then
down here.
落ちたっていうことになるけど。おはいはいはいはい。なんか結構なんか、もうなんか早速ですね。
This pot was broken fairly recently.
最近割れた？でも2日
A
前だか
flower
ら最
pot
近は
recently
どの
fell
タイミング
down
で最
from
近なの
these
かな。
shelves and was misplaced. The door was smashed at shoulder
どういう
height.
こと？どういうことよこれ。
This door handle is new. It was recently changed.
いやもうそれやったらこっちも取り替えちゃえばよかったのにね。なんかもう早速殺人事件です
The
かこれも。
ensconson was breached near the handle. The door was forced from the inside of the colonial collection room. The handle was changed afterwards.
は
I think we need to inspect the colonial collection.
あ、マジや。これか？
Very strange. Half of the colonial collection is absent. The smell is strong. It is a detergent.
洗剤。なんか落ちてるよ。これは？
These windows were perfectly cleaned.
ここだけ洗浄されてんの？ここだけ洗浄されてんの？石のかけら？これあれじゃないの？花瓶じゃな
This
いの？
broken fragment was the result of a heavy blow.
でもそうやったとしたら外傷が出るはずだもんね。
A fragment of marble, most likely chipped from a statue or
像
sculpture.
か彫刻、あ、じゃあ倒
Part
れ
of
たっ
this
て感じ。
greenhouse was emptied and thoroughly cleaned.
なるほど。じゃあここは何かがあったってこと？
This is one of the outlets of the ventilation system.
換気口ね。はあ。ここはもう調べなくていいと。そうはいかんねえんだ。ここら辺はもう調べたけど、完了したって出てるけど、俺は信じないぞ。何にもない。
Blood. Someone fell violently against
Oh,
this
oh, oh,
sign,
oh, oh.
and they were injured in the clash. Most likely a head wound.
ある人物がね。足跡だよね。違う、これじゃない、足跡。足跡見てなかったっけ？
The traces are thinner in some places. These boot marks are fresh. It appears as though someone was dragging their feet. The footprints reveal that someone staggered here.
なるほど。
All the clues around here are quite
でも
suspicious.
誰かの血痕がついてるってことは心臓発作ではないんじゃない？ L？ すごい人間出てきてびっくりした。ドアを壊す。あ、違う。しか考えられなくない？だってそれ以外ないじゃん。だって今の動きの流れだったら。
This reconstruction reveals a disturbing fact. Montague Dunn damaged the door of the Colonial Collection Room.
He was in a panic, or the door was locked. Was it an accident, or a murder then, I
い
wonder?
や殺人。いやどうだろうね。もう早速ですか？ダンは閉じ込められた、片付けられた展示。まあまだここは一緒？あ、そう。検視解剖を行う必要があると。行いましょうじゃあ。
I asked Inspector Lestrade to take Montague Dunn's body to Scotland Yard.
It's ready for autopsy then.
うわ毎回思うけど検視って本当慣れないよね。やってもないのに言うことじゃないけど。
Mr. Holmes?
お久しぶりホームズおじさん。 Mr. Holmes こっちか。検視はこっちだったな。あれちゃう？こっちじゃないっけ？あれなんか階段がある方だったっけ？これか。ここだ。ここ。はいはい。では、ご対面させていただきます。失礼いたしま
First
す。
of all, let us carry out an external examination.
はい、外部検査を行ってください。なんで
There
こ
are
い
no
つはそんな
suspicious
ところま
marks
ででき
upon
る
the
の？
chest. Let us finish our external examination so that we can proceed with the autopsy.
あー、なんか怒られた。ちょっと目つ
The
ぶらしちゃってや。
vessels and the pupil of the eye appear
血
quite
管
normal.
とど、あ、ってことはありやん、しっか
There
り
is an
傷。
injury to the skull, most probably caused by the fall in the water lily greenhouse.
裏みたい、裏。
The vessel,
違う。
the air from the lungs, carries a faint floral aroma.
肺から空気に。なるほど。
Nothing suspicious here.
なんか持ってる。
No redness, stings, or bruises. Now, let us examine the internal organs.
あ、もうそこ映した感じ？あ、これ規制入る？口笛を吹くんじゃない。あ、よかった。なんか割とマシな造形。なんかプラスチックのなんかおままごとみたいな感じになってるけど。
The stomach tissues show no visible pathological signs.
回転させたところで、あ、なんかあったぞ。
There is a small amount of content. It appears that he breakfasted lightly, only a short while before his death.
多少の内容物があるって感じね。肺ね。肺。
The lungs are congested and edematous.
水腫？ほう。なんか見っけ。損
The
傷部分。
tissue on the inferior lobe of the right lung is damaged, most probably caused by toxins from an unknown plant.
おー。タバコか？
The
心筋
heart's
梗塞
blood
みたいな。
vessels show no pathological signs.
おっと、じゃあ心筋梗塞じゃないってことになっちゃうよ、そうなると。まあ、なんか血管とかこの辺かな。あ、なんか亀裂ない。これ亀裂？血管か。なんか
The heart tissue shows no visible pathological signs.
ってことは、 心筋梗塞ではなく毒って何？肝臓、酒飲んでるとか？
The liver is enlarged. It would seem that he was suffering from
またアルコール依存症ですか？もうアルコール依存症じゃん。大抵こうやってなんか事件を起こすやつって全員そうじゃ
The
ん。
liver tissue is brown. There are no visible pathological signs.
となると
My suspicions have been substantiated. Montague Dunn, the director of Kew Gardens, died from poisoning. Plant
じゃあ
poisoning, to be more exact.
盗まれたやつは
Yes,
毒か？
it is murder.
殺人ですか？
Form Lestrade.
Yes, but do remember, Watson, that I discovered the murder. The challenge is mine.
The challenge, Holmes.
We need to locate that deadly plant. Such a perfect murder appeals to me.
Murder of any kind appeals to you. Is that all we need to do?
No, we also have the people
倒れ
working
て
at
そ
Kew
の時
Gardens.
に頭を打っ
Martin
たってこと
Hamish
か？
and the son of the victim, Albert Dunn.
And also Miss White, of whom we spoke with Mr. Hamish. Should we bring them all here for
ここに連れて
interrogation?
きて質問すんの？
No,
そうやね。
a few innocuous
いや、そうだよな。
questions at Kew
そうだそうだそうだ。
suffice, as well as a discreet delve into their personal affairs. Yes, Watson, it is time now to open the doors.
Even
Just
those in the
got
staff
in.
building. I suppose that is necessary.
We should also be concerned with the victim himself. After all, we don't know very much about Montague Dunn.
You're enjoying this already, aren't you?
More than a little.
その笑い方、犯人なのよ。はいはいはい。ダンは閉じ込められていた毒殺。ダンは毒殺された。これに間違いはないもんね。じゃあ、とりあえず、もう一回あそこにまた Y 押しちゃうよ。はい、じゃあ早速、これは誰？副園長かな？副園長にいろいろ話を聞いてみましょうか。
Mr. Hamish, can you explain to us what happened to the colonial collection? It seems somewhat depleted.
But, most likely maintenance work, tidying up.
お、なんか
You're
隠
not
してる
sure
ぞ。
then? But you're the deputy director.
Well, I am busy. I cannot be everywhere at once.
いや、2、3人ぐらいしかいなかったじゃねえかよ。
Albert told us about the tragic death of Mr. Dunn, the late director of Kew Gardens.
Tragic indeed. His heart attack was quite unexpected.
あ、言わないの？
As deputy director, how was your relationship with Montague Dunn?
まあ確
To
か
be
に、ね、
honest
副
with
園
you,
長って
Mr.
園長って
Holmes,
結構ね、
it could have been better. You see, every
So,
Tuesday he
you
would
can-
carry out his inspection of the gardens, but it was solely to make an impression, great pretense that he cared at all. He would give out absurd orders, ignoring anyone else's opinion. He would then disappear for the
いや
rest
あ
of
な
the
た
week.
も、あなたも
He
割
was
と
what some might call a man of action.
当てつ
I'd
け
say
か
rather he was overzealous and chaotic. So after all, it was no wonder, perhaps, that he ended up like that. If you take into consideration his kind
まあ
of
そうだね、なん
lifestyle.
か、アルコホールいっぱい飲んでたからね。
You mentioned that Mr. Dunn led a particular lifestyle.
Well, it's no secret that he enjoyed, celebrating, shall we say? He was a member of the London Smart Set.
ロンドンスマート
He was
セット
famous for it. That and
なんかそういうあれ系かな。
And-
クラブ
he had an eye for the ladies.
なるほどね。やっぱそうだと思ったよ。もうそういうの多いよね。基本的にさ、
Tell me,
事件は
Mr.
こういうの
Hamish,
だよね。やっぱ
do you
色
grow
恋
the
沙
more
汰。
deadly variety of plant here?
You mean insectivorous? Yes, but nothing larger than that.
食虫植物？毒じゃないの？中毒死してたよね。ってことは植物毒じゃないタバコか？やっぱ安価なメガネとか言わないの。ひげしっかりとお、これは泥かな？汚い。これも泥だよね。この辺とかなんかすごい汚いよ。まあ土仕事してるから未婚。 奥さんになりそうな人通られた的な。庭師の手ってなんやねん。土が
Thank you,
爪の
Mr.
中に入って
Hamish.
たりとか。
We shall continue our investigation.
他にはどんな人がいるの？閉まってるんかい。とりあえずまあ走って、いや走ることができるっていうのはだいぶでかいよね。あとは
Can I help you, gentlemen?
いた。これはあの人だよね。息子かなんか、それともホワイトさんの方？ホワイトさんの方、ホワイト城？
Who is Miss Margaret White?
Ah, she is the young lady who studies with me. She visits here sometimes to help out with the greenhouses. In fact, she should be here today. She wanted to work at the seed house. That's the small greenhouse across from the large glass house.
Do you work here?
Yes, but part-time only. For I'm also studying botany at the University of London.
めちゃめちゃ頭良さ
Following
そう
in
じゃ
your
ん。ロン
father's
ドン大学。
footsteps, then that is commendable.
Well, even if botany is not my strongest suit, there are people who say that I could be a good manager.
なるほど。
We noticed that a part of the colonial collection has been cleared.
Ah,
気になりますね
at the。moment I'm just dealing with the storage room. I don't know much about the other rooms.
なるほど。
I imagine that your relationship with your father may have been a strained one.
緊迫したもの？
Yes. I cannot say that he was a kind man, for he never listened to me at all. He forced me to work here.
ああ、なるほどね。
Now, after his death, I've been pondering it over. Perhaps he wasn't so wrong about me after all.
なるほど
I
ね。
have to follow his path. And I have to manage Kew Gardens. And I can do it. I can be as good as any other who works
でき
here.
る。君にはできるけど、やりたいことがあるんだったらやりたいことやった方がいいんじゃないの？マーティン・ヘイミッシ
Would you
ュ。
please tell us about Martin Hamish, the deputy
こいつも
director?
ちょっとなんか気になるもんね。
Well, I have
実
to
はあり
tell
そう
you
だも
that
んね。
Mr. Hamish is not and has never been the deputy director of Kew Gardens. My father would not have tolerated it.
え、どういうこと？
Indeed. Well, that is most interesting. He told us that he was.
Yes, because he believes that the management should be passed down to him now that my father is dead. But in actual fact, Mr. Hamish only has the honor of being the garden's longest-serving employee.
なるほど
In
ね。
fact,
あららら
it
ら
isn't logically at all.
副園長じゃない
It
の？
would be me who takes over the management of Kew Gardens.
どういう？
Do you not have a good relationship with Mr. Hamish?
I suppose so. But we have very little in common. Mr. Hamish loves his plants and Kew Gardens, and I cannot say that I share his passion.
I see. And how was his relationship with your father?
Oh, he hated my father. It was obvious. He would be furious whenever my father boasted of Kew Gardens in the newspapers or at conferences.
おっと。
He was convinced that my father was stealing all of the credit for himself. But my father treated Mr. Hamish in the same way as he treated anyone. Dismissively. With indifference.
Do you hold the keys to all of these locked doors?
Yes, you can have them. But I cannot give you the keys to the cloakroom. The employees' effects are private. I am sure you understand.
なるほど。まあじゃあ一応彼のなんか面白い話がいろいろ聞けましたね。副園長は自称だったんですね。変な。ああ、なるほどね。それね、深い悲しみに暮れている。そりゃそうでしょうよ。これででも父親殺してたら怖いけどな。どうした？ヒゲ剃り下手なんか、俺もなんか変なブツブツできるわ、でも確かに。ねえ、これ庭師の手。なんて。庭師の手ではない。
Thank you, young man. We shall see you again soon.
ホワイト城に会う。ホワイト城。ホワイト城って言い方や。ホワイト城どこにいんだろう。ホワイト城なんか奥かなんかにいるっつってたよね。まあ、とりあえずちょっと、
Farmhouse.
まあ、とりあえず行ってみようか。まあ、なんならちょっと植物園ちょっと見学していくねえ。ホームズも意外と植物園好きでしょ。この曲は何なの？奥に行ったらいるのかな。ホワイト城が。ホワイト城がいるのかな。
This,
ここが、
they have light.
あ、ごめん。あ、もうワトソンが入っていっちゃった。あ、戻ってきちゃった。ワトソン戻ってこなくていいよ。ホワイト城どこだ？ホワイト城。こっちか、ホワイト城。こっちはさっき見たところだよね。ホワイト城どこだ？ どこにいんだよ。ホワイト城どこにいんだよ。なんだっけ、どこにいるっつったっけ。もうなんか話長すぎて忘れちゃったんでね。ホワイ
There
ト
is
城
a smell of burning.
えホワイト城を見つける前になんか変なの見つけたよ。ちょっとこんくらいにしようかな。ホワイト城をなんか見つける前になんか焦げ臭い何かを見つけたから、一旦こんくらいにしますね。また次回ちょっとお会いしましょう。では。